The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building, buying, selling a home, the Real Estate Crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holsthausen,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome and thanks for joining us here on Real Estate House Party. You love that little jingle, huh?
You like it? That's good.
Kim
nice.
Carpentier
Snappy,
from
isn't it?
Valley Credit Builders. That's pretty good.
Kind of snappy.
What do you think?
Yeah,
What do you
kinda
think?
snappy.
It's
I'm with you.
great.
Where's Kathy Holzhauser?
She's very busy. Probably doing your bidding somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what it is? If she was if she was applying for a job for me, I
Yeah.
don't think I'd be hiring her because we're seeing her all over Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And places where, like,
Yes.
yeah, she's in
With
Key West.
Coronas, she's
Yeah.
in Key West right now.
Yeah.
In Coronas, all over her.
Yeah, you'd look up
See?
her history and go, I want nothing to do with this.
No.
But
Facebook, Facebook kills many careers.
Yes,
Too late.
yes,
Yeah,
too late.
luckily, my Facebook posts can't get me in trouble.
They can't.
Anymore.
They can't.
And you know what you
your
are?
Facebook legendary.
Yeah.
People religiously look at it.
Oh, yeah. They
Nicktober,
wanna know-
Rocktober.
Rocktober.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I'm into the if you substitute the word poop in any movie title, it's funny.
So
Do you have time on your hands? You have a lot of
I
time
had
on
a
your
lot.
hands.
No, it took me like all of 4 seconds to do this ridiculousness, and it's been going since last Thursday.
Do you have an example of that?
Yeah.
But you brought it up.
Yeah, forest poop. See, I told you. Any movie, you substitute the noun with poop, and it's funny. And I did it as a gag, and people took it very seriously, and they've run with it.
I know who ran with it. I know Kim Carpentier ran with it last time when he was on our radio show.
Yeah.
Went out to see if he could get the website GoFICOYourself.com.
Yeah.
It's
He
already
couldn't
locked
get,
out.
he
That's
couldn't
a
get
beauty.
out of here.
That's a
quick enough
beauty.
to get
Yeah.
that
I
one.
want that one.
It's
I know.
already looked out. Go FICO yourself.
Yeah, go
Sure.
FICO. That works.
So you're our reigning credit expert.
That's what they say.
That's what they
Yeah.
say.
That's what they say.
So
That's
You
what I'm
repair
at.
people's
I
credit.
repair people's credit.
You're-
I
you're
build
the-
people's
You're the
credit.
builder.
I help
You're-
them.
You're
Yeah.
the builder.
Yeah.
You know, you should get a van like the CVS guy out on the highway.
Yeah.
Where you
I
just
like that.
You just drive up and repair their credit.
Put a
right
hammer
there.
on the roof?
Yeah, right there.
Big hammer?
Big hammer.
Yeah, big hammer driving down. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, don't worry about your credit. I'm here to repair it.
I mean,
Now, is he
repair.
minimizing
Right.
your job?
Huh?
He thinks you can just pull in, talk to a guy for a couple
No,
minutes.
actually, my job's very important.
Oh, I know it's
Very
important.
huge.
No,
Ooh,
that.
very huge.
You
That's
wouldn't
why we have
listen,
you here.
man. You wouldn't be here if you
Right.
weren't
Yeah,
important.
we only have important people on the
Yes.
show, Kim.
Right. No,
So,
there's a lot of people that need help.
there's a
Because
lot.
they do not understand the rules of the game. And
Ooh.
credit,
Oh, what?
and the credit is a game.
Well,
It
while,
is.
while you're here, let's talk about some of the rules.
Okay.
Because I'm under the understanding, we've talked about this before.
Okay.
I think a lot of entities like people to have bad credit. Am I right about this? or
Well,
not?
they profit off it. So whether
Okay.
they
Well,
like
then-
it, whether they
Right.
like
Well,
it or
then-
not, that's a question.
Need I,
right?
need I make the jump?
There you go.
So I mean, they
Right.
profit off it. So maybe they like it, maybe they don't.
All right.
Right.
But there's a lot of entities that seem
Right.
to profit off of someone
Exactly.
having bad
So
credit.
Exactly.
even if you have bad credit, someone will give you money. It'll just
cost you a little more.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
just
Which
cost you.
seems counterintuitive.
Well,
Right.
think about it.
Right.
All right, the people that are making the loans are
Right.
reporting the late payments.
Right.
So the more late payments they report, the more money they make on their loans. Right.
Right. Exactly.
So
Right.
it's kind of
Right.
it's kind of
And
like
the-
that
and
that
the-
endless circle.
And,
Yeah.
and the more the people on paper don't look like they can make their payments, they charge higher interest rate.
Exactly.
That's
So
how the
here you go.
mafia operates.
Here you go. Here you
Did
go.
operate. We know the mafia does
Right,
not
they don't
exist.
They,
But if they did,
if they allegedly existed,
that's the way
how
they
they
would
would do
They
it.
should they should
Right.
pull a credit report on everybody they lend money to.
right.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
that's
exactly.
the basic. That's the
Right.
basic.
And-
So-
and if they had a place to go check their own credit, like go FICO yourself,
Go FICO yourself. That's
they
it.
could do it and avoid a lot of problems.
Tell you, we have to discuss the
No, we're gonna have to
royalty
discuss
on that
every,
site.
every time we see it, Kim. We're gonna have to.
Where
we
the
have
hell?
to expand this a little bit there.
Yeah.
You know,
So
go ahead.
what are some of the things people get in Dutch with? I mean, to get in trouble?
Well, you know, late payments on credit cards are probably the worst.
That's the worst.
That's the worst.
Now, that'll
That's
ping you from
that'll ping you 100 points.
From one late payment.
One late payment.
So if you have an 800 credit score, you're down to 700
you're
right off the
down
bat?
under 700.
For one
late payment.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, depending on, it depends on how deep your credit report is.
Right.
The depth of your credit report. Now, if you have 2 credit cards and an auto payment and you get a late payment, it's going to kill you.
Right.
Because you only have 3 trade lines at the report.
Right.
Now, if if your breadth is 20 accounts and you get 1 late payment, you may not get dinged that bad. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's
because
also counterintuitive. So if you
Yeah.
have the more credit cards you have,
well, credit cards you should have between 3 and 5. All right.
Okay.
Now, if you have more than 5, I wouldn't go and did I hit a nerve over there? If you have more
you
than
mean each family member has 3 to 5, or look at
so you shouldn't.
Tony can't even sit on the side of his pants with all the credit cards he has in his.
If you have more than 5, I'm not telling you to go out and cancel any of them, because canceling can be the worst thing that you can ever do to your credit score, because it takes away longevity of credit.
You see this?
I know.
That's one license. 3 rewards cards from casinos.
Okay, all right.
The rest are credit cards. Please hand in your wallet, Tony.
So you would have some building to do if Tony V showed up on your doorsteps.
No, I'm sure everything's on time. Everything looks good. Balances are low, and he's got a great credit score.
Yeah,
I know Tony.
All right.
No, I have a wife.
Yeah, right.
Let's not pin it on me. She's the one that keeps the ship right. Right.
All right, let me throw out one trick.
Shoot.
And you can tell me others, but say you have 5 credit cards. You have one max. They're all $5,000 limits.
Okay.
What you should do is, instead of having one card maxed out at the $5,000, is kind of displace that $5,000.
Disperse among all the cards, because credit scores work off a percentage basis. All right. So let's say you have a card with a $1,000 limit and you got $500 on it. The math comes out to 50%. If you have another card and you got $2,000 limit and you got $1,000 on it, that's 50%. That's the way you should manage your cards. You should manage, because what they used to do is they used to look at the overall depth of credit cards, right? So they used to bunch them all together in one big pail. But then people started getting the 0% cards. So when they got the 0% cards, they would transfer everything over to that and beat the system. So now the system adjusted and said, hey, wait a minute.
We don't want to be beat.
Right. You got a $5,000 card over here and you got $4,900 on it. Even though all these other cards have nothing, we're going to ding you a little bit for the fact that you did that.
Yep. And those 0% cards is how they get you, is that's only for 12 months. And they're banking on the fact that you're not going to pay everything off in those 12 months.
Oh, no.
And then they hit you for about 25%, right?
Right.
Or whatever the going rate is.
Right.
And I see what my problem is.
Oh, well.
A
problem, huh?
The problem. The major problem. There's math involved. My face.
That's why you keep getting a new credit card.
Right.
I know.
My face is glazes over. When
you came up with 30%, didn't you?
Right. Wait, that's 50%. All right. Carry. And then my brain just shuts down, and I start thinking about cheeseburgers, and that's it.
All right. Give us one.
Staying on the credit card theme.
Yep.
A lot of people don't realize it, but the credit card companies only report at statement close date.
Okay.
So whatever balance is on your statement is the balance that you live with for 30 days, right?
Yep.
So they say, well, I pay down my credit card every month. I pay it off.
Yeah.
But they're using it during the month.
Yeah.
Right? So they're adding more money to the card. So when they report the next statement close date, there's a balance again.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody, especially if they have skinny credit reports, that they should, when the statement payment is due, they should log on and see what their balance is. Pay as much of that balance as they can, so that when they report in 5 days, because it's 25 days, you get grace period on credit cards, when they report in another 5 days, the balance is low. And that's what you want. You want as low a balance as possible, as close to zero as possible when they report at statement close date.
But you don't want zero.
Yeah, you can get 0.
You can have 0?
Yep, you can get 0. If you can get to 0, that's great, but you should
Right.
use it. I mean, credit cards that sit on the sideline, if you use them once a quarter, they won't close them on you.
Right.
That's the whole thing. If you go 1 year without using it, you're going to get a letter in the mail saying, you're
better
not
use
using
it.
it. Yeah,
Right.
you're not using it. But boom, 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 we're going to close it out. on
See,
you.
this to me sounds like speeding in a car. It's not a problem until there's a problem.
Until someone tells you it's a
You
problem.
can go 85 until they go, hey, you shouldn't be going 85. And you go, well, it wasn't a problem before. Yeah, but it's a problem now.
And let me give you a reminder.
Right. Here's a piece of paper that says you shouldn't be doing that.
So if you are going to close out credit cards, you don't want to close out the old ones.
I hate even discussing this, but no, never close out the old ones. All right. But what a lot of people do is that they say, well, I haven't used this card in years, but it has 18 years of credit history on it.
Right.
And they just close it out. Now, over time, after the closeout period, within a year or two, you're going to lose the credit for the 18 years. So it takes away from your average age of your credit file. So that's why you have to watch that. Now, one way to utilize the average age of a credit file, and this is for the younger people out there, is that if your parents are willing to put you on.
Here we go.
No, listen now. I
thought this was just for the younger
there's
kids.
a way to
Seems
do
like
this.
this is swinging back our way.
This is a good way to do it.
I'm not sure if we
yes.
like where this is headed.
Somehow I'm now involved in my son's bad credit. It's not bad enough I got my own. Now I got to get my offspring involved.
Right. Now, what you do is that as long as the credit card of your parents
Yeah.
has a low balance and good payment history, right, they can put you on as an authorized user. Now, the credit card will be mailed to your parents. The parents take the card, authorize it with the 800 number, take it out, buy a tank of gas, take it home, cut it up, and throw it away. The child never has to have the credit card, yet your good credit history on that credit card gets transferred to their credit file, increasing the age of their credit file. Bang, credit score goes up.
Well, finally, a good reason to have children.
See?
Right. I've been waiting 20 years to figure out where the upside of having a kid is.
You knew it'd show up eventually, right?
I knew it would come my way.
You had a lot of different thoughts
Right,
until
right.
the credit card
Right.
expert
And I
came
know
along.
now you're saying, Kim, where have you been?
Right.
I know
Jeez,
you're saying
if I
that.
had this information 18 years ago, everything would have been fine.
So you had us. That's perfect. The pot right up to cutting the.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I say that to everybody. Just don't ever give your children a credit card on yours, but you can take it and get them on there and cut it up. Now
that
in some
credit
instance,
history, yep.
think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're, 29? So you probably have a credit card.
I
You
don't
probably
wanna-
have a credit
close.
card that's about 20 years old.
Got it very young.
So let's say that you're 18-year-old. You put the 18-year-old on. They have a credit card with history that's longer than their age. It's
Right.
a beautiful thing.
That is
I love
great.
that.
That's great.
It's a beautiful thing.
What do we do with our wives' credit
Great.
cards?
Sure. Oh, please.
Yeah.
You cut
Is
those.
there any way we can cut those up?
Well, you
And keep those?
You can try. I'd sleep with one eye open, though.
Yeah, you cut those off, you get cut off.
When do they consider it late in the credit card world? I heard
30
some credit card companies are a lot different, and some are.
30 days from the due date.
Oh, so within 30 days
Of the due date.
of the due date.
Right.
If you
You're-
can
you're
get
late.
it paid within the 30 days.
Right.
All right.
You're
All right.
late. You're late.
All right. Because I heard some cards were notorious if you're a couple days late.
No.
All right.
Now, a couple
No, by
cards
law,
will say,
they have to do it. Right?
a couple
What's that?
cards,
By law,
what they
they have
to
to give you 25 days.
They give you 25 days to
Pay
pay
it.
the statement,
Right.
right? Okay, so that's
Sounds like
25
you've looked
days.
this law up a
means-
couple times.
That means the due date
Oh, yeah.
is the 20 if it was billed on the first 25th of the
Right.
month or 26th of the month because zero doesn't have whatever. Paid on the 25th of the month, all
Right.
right? So you have to the 25th of the next month
To pay that.
to pay that and not be 30 days late.
That's great. You could die, and for a month they wouldn't care.
Right. Right.
They wouldn't even know.
Right.
You know, I'm not good with this because, I've said this in public before. Like, this is the kind of stuff that has escaped me my whole life. Like, I've never even balanced a checkbook in my entire life.
Yeah, you go down to the ATM machine, find out what your
got.
account
And
balances
people always
are.
say to me, they go, well, how do you know when you run out of money? And I go, oh, they'll tell you. Someone's going to mention it to you.
Get that little postcard in the
Hey,
mail.
I was just thinking that, too. I don't have any money. Thanks for the reminder, you guys. I'll
you
get on it.
overdrew your account.
Right, I'll get on it
I
next month.
have a friend who just retired as the president of a bank, and he says that's how they made their money.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted people
Incredible.
to overdraw their accounts.
Oh, incredible.
Because there's an extra $35 every time they overdrew their
bang
account.
it. Yep.
They actually had that as part of their
Yeah,
business plan.
right. That's part of their business model, right?
All right, so I went on your website.
Good.
5 areas we've kind of talked about them. You got to pay on time.
Yeah.
Right? Don't have high balances and maxed out credit cards.
That's Bing. We hit
We
that
hit
one.
that one,
We
yeah.
hit that one. Yep.
The length of credit history showing you pay on time.
We hit that with
We
the
hit that
authorized
one.
user
Right.
card
Get
and make
you-
sure you pay your cards on
The
time.
minute you find out you're pregnant, get that kid a credit card. They have a in utero account.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago. They're now stealing little kids' credit,
Oh, yeah,
Social
it's big.
Security
That's
numbers.
huge. That's huge. You got to
Really?
protect your kids. Yeah, because you think about it. Everybody now, before your child can go out of the hospital,
Right.
They have you sign up for a Social Security card,
Right.
Social Security number. So that number is prime. So if an identity thief gets that, he can build a complete credit history, and you won't know anything about it until the kid turns 18 years old and
Right,
applies for credit.
right.
Wow.
So they have 18 years free reign
Right.
with that Social Security
So
number.
how would you counsel people on how to protect their credit? How should they do that?
They should have a good monitoring service for the whole family. So
Okay.
they should go after they should do the entire family on a monitoring service. So if that Social Security number comes up at any point in time, they're going to get an alert on it.
Without plugging anybody specifically, are there good, credit monitoring businesses?
Yes. As a matter of fact, if someone would like to give me a call, I have a fantastic one.
Well, why don't you give me your phone number?
978-886-7805.
Right.
And
Kim
your
at
company
Valley
name?
Valley Credit Builders.
Yeah.
Kim at valleycreditbuilders.com.
Yeah, so you can call Kim and he'll give you the secret.
I'll give you the secret to how to
protect.
take care of the entire family for just $22 a month.
Is that like that gambling hotline where they'll give you one free winning
Number.
football score
Yeah.
a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So name of your company again, because we don't do this. I am counseled this by my producer at home, Ryan Carter and Renee Carter.
Right.
They said we should tell our names a little bit more.
Okay.
So go ahead. One more time.
Kim Carpentier, Valley Credit Builders, www.valleycreditbuilders.com, 978-886-7805.
And here's the other thing I'm counseled on. I do this a lot. I always
Okay.
say the top 5. I usually
Yeah.
get through 3 of them, and
Right.
everyone wants to know what the other. So I'm going to
So
say
let's
them
get
quick.
4.
Pay on time. Don't have high balances and maxed out credit cards. Length of credit history. Recent credit activity. We talked about that. We haven't talked about this as much. Types of accounts you have.
Right.
So how does that factor
Well,
in?
Like an auto loan. All right.
Okay.
That's installment debt.
Okay.
So that's good.
Okay.
That's good.
Installment debt's good. Just don't
As
miss
long
a
as
payment.
if you don't miss a payment.
Yeah, don't miss payment. Installment debt's good. It doesn't really factor in that much into your credit utilization.
Right.
So it's good to have installment debt on your account, or on your credit reports. Revolving debt's good, and those are really the only 2 types of debt that gets reported. It's
Yep.
credit card and installment. If you think about it, what
Yep.
else? What other kind of
Yep.
debt is there?
Does your mortgage itself?
That's an installment.
That's
an installment.
counts.
Yep.
So do they favor that one over more of a car loan, or is it pretty much the same?
FICO has been doing now. One thing I got to say is that everybody says, "Oh, the score's wrong, score's wrong, score's wrong." FICO is not wrong.
Really?
Never.
Okay?
They're never wrong.
Never wrong. Now, let me tell you why. They've been doing this since the 60s. They got an algorithm that's just crazy.
Right.
All right? Crazy intelligent.
Because the information in that is a lot of times wrong.
Right. If the information on the credit report is incorrect, then your FICO score would be
Oh, okay.
incorrect.
So
the
it
old
could be
saying,
wrong.
Garbage in, garbage
Right,
out, right?
Right.
So, but FICO's calculation and the way that their algorithm works is dead on.
Right. So with the information they're given,
Exactly.
they will report
Exactly.
only a specific way.
Yeah. Now there's an attempt by the credit bureaus
Yeah.
to take over the scoring mechanism, which would be bad.
That doesn't
Because
sound good.
no, it doesn't. And because FICO is an independent that has its own algorithm.
Right.
All right. So now they want to come in and they want to start using their credit score. Now, if they can't keep their credit reports correct, or they can't keep the information that they have from being stolen. All right, you know, the big Equifax.
Oh,
rate,
yeah, sure, that was huge. Yeah, of
164
course.
million people.
That's everybody, right?
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
I love that. They go, 164 million people. That's everybody. You know what I mean? They don't want to go, they stole everything.
Talk about minimizing.
Well, right.
Don't
Well,
worry about it. It was only 164 million.
Yeah,
And we got
there's
it
a couple
under control.
people over there that they didn't touch.
Right,
So and they love us. But there's this meetings going on in Congress, and they're trying to get to the point where individuals like us can just freeze your credit report and unfreeze your credit report. Now they want to charge you $5, $10, $20, depending on what state you live in, to freeze and unfreeze your report. But that information, you've never given them the right to collect that information, right?
Yep.
Right.
You've given your financing company, bank, credit card, you've given them the right to report to the credit bureaus, but you've never given the credit bureaus the right to bring all this information together. All right. So there was a report out there. There's a meeting out there, or an act going through, or some kind of congressional movement.
They've been talking about this for a while.
Well,
right?
about 6 months.
Right,
and what they want to do is on your phone, you know, you can have an app and you can hit boop, freeze, and all three of them freeze, right?
Right.
You can pull your credit, so someone can pull your credit. You all done pulling my credit? Boop. You know, freeze it now.
Yep.
So you unfreeze and freeze, no charge.
I would do it only if it had that noise in it.
Yeah, well,
If the app had that noise,
if you ever needed sound effects,
right. That's the reason I would get that app for that. That's the one I want. You know.
So FICO scores are always correct.
right.
But it's the information
Information
in there.
that's
Because
incorrect.
I got this. Your website's very good.
Good, thank you.
79%
Yep,
of the credit reports
Yep.
have errors.
have errors.
79%?
They have errors on them. Now, significant errors.
30%.
Exactly. 30% of credit reports have significant
affect-
errors that will affect your credit score.
Wow, that's pretty high, I think.
Pretty big,
Right?
yeah, it's pretty big. It's not 164 million,
No,
but
that's everybody.
It's probably
Yeah,
it's,
sure.
it's probably
And
about
there's some obvious things. I remember.
Oh, easy.
I remember years ago applying. This had to be 10 years ago, so I think it's a little better now. I applied to refinance, and the banker said to me, "Well, we got to clear up these 5 issues that I knew nothing about."
Mm-hmm.
And they showed me the credit report. I must have had 3 people's credits,
Sure.
all on mine.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Well, don't you go by Social Security number?" And how could it get that convoluted? Where
Well, there's 13 data points that they can use to put an account on your report. All right, they don't need your Social Security number. All right, so they can use name,
it's
address.
a little willy-nilly
It's
to me.
either
that-
Social Security number for
name,
anything.
yeah, your name, address. So what
Right.
happens? Junior, seniors get screwed up a
Yeah.
lot too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you get same
Sure.
address.
Yeah. Oh,
same
all
name,
the time. All the time.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Date of birth may be different.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that could just be a mistake.
Right.
So that gets reported. So I get a lot of junior, senior stuff that we
Right.
have to separate.
Wow.
Interesting.
So the takeaway from this is check your credit score every 10 minutes.
Right.
And if you had the app,
If you had the app, you got to
Then-
Go. whoop.
every 10 minutes.
every 10 minutes. You know someone's
Right. All right, I'm
messing
good.
around.
I'm
Someone's-
good for the next 10 minutes.
There you go.
Now we take it lightly because we always talk about credit. You know, building and repair is always for that person that has lower credit scores. But I mean, credit is huge for anyone.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah,
Getting a
everything.
job.
Everything. Getting
renting a
job.
spot.
Exactly.
Getting a job?
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Look at you.
Well, look, I haven't had a
you
job.
didn't
I haven't had a job in 40 years.
You don't need your
I
credit
don't need-
repair.
right.
You're good. You're good. But here's a good example. And I think we've talked about this before, but this guy buying a $25 million boat, and he was going to finance $12.5 million of it. He was putting 50% down. So he's financing $12.5 million. And depending on how his score was, it was what his interest rate was going to be.
Exactly.
So they're praying he's probably got a high, you know.
Well, at 12.5, I'd kind of pray I had a high score, too.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm saying that the banker's probably praying that it's not that great of a score and they could charge
Well,
him more of an
exactly,
interest rate.
yep.
You know, because they
Yep.
know the guy's good for it.
Yep.
You know, whenever you're paying back your loans on your $12.5 million boat, you're good, right?
Sure.
All right.
Sure. My boat's home free.
We've lost him since we said you need a credit score to
I-
get your job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
still thinking
Have you
about
ever
it.
applied for a job? Do you have a resume?
No. I mean, I have my comedy and acting resume, but I don't have.
You do have a comedy resume?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
you can go on my my website and see what I've done. I mean, it's never
I like
coming-
your website too. At the very end, you said, if I haven't impressed you enough by now,
Yeah, stop
don't,
reading.
Don't
Yeah.
don't read anymore.
It's not going to get any better than this. Okay. I had a call the other day. They were trying to get me a job. It was, to do a private show for this nerdy company that does, DNA testing or something.
All right.
And so they wanted to talk to me and blah, blah, blah. And in the middle of it, they go, well, somebody gave us a list of scientific comedians. And I go, all right, good luck with that. I can't. That's the first time I've ever heard that phrase.
What is a scientific comedian?
I don't know. I think I don't know. This is my point. I don't know.
That wasn't on your resume?
It wasn't on my resume, so I never came
Just
up.
show up with a test tube. You're
That's
fine.
all. So I pitched them a couple of ideas, and they thought it was great, and blah, blah, blah. I blame that Stephen Hawking. That's his problem.
That's not fair now.
No.
Yeah, he's not here to defend
Yeah,
himself.
right. Yeah.
That's why I'm blaming.
Cheap shot.
All right, I got to ask you this question.
I'm ready.
This is more my mortgage world.
Okay.
I had this situation. Someone was right about to close, and they got their credit score, whatever. They got their credit scores. There was 2 bills, one from it was probably like Verizon.
Yep.
But then they got a second bill from Verizon, and then they disputed that bill.
Yep.
They said, no, I've already paid that. I'm disputing that. Once that went in dispute,
Can't close.
can't close.
Right. The underwriters won't let it go through.
Now, why is that?
Okay.
Who's
There's
disputing it?
The
Individual.
homeowner.
The
The
Yeah,
homeowner
Yeah.
says, no.
Right, I've
this
already
is
paid
not
that.
right.
It was like a $40 bill. Says I'm not
Right.
paying it again. I'm in dispute.
Okay. And so he disputed it with the data provider, who is Verizon.
Correct.
So Verizon put in dispute on his report.
Correct.
Okay. So they will do that because they want – legally they have to
Yep.
because
Yep.
because the party is disputing the bill. But in this situation here, if he's already paid the bill, they should take the dispute off. and
Right.
Dispute. Now, what ends up happening is that you got to call the credit bureaus. You have to get the in dispute removed, and it holds up the closing. I don't know if it held up your closing, but the underwriter –
Derailed.
Right.
Yeah.
The underwriter goes, as
Oh.
well. Because what they assume, which isn't a bad thing to assume, there are circumstances when the word dispute shows up in your credit report that negative is not completely used against your score. So there's a percentage of it that isn't used. So all of a sudden, instead of it costing you 40, instead of increasing your score 40 points, it should actually be killing your score by 20 points because
right.
it doesn't get factored into
Right,
the FICO
right,
score, right?
right.
So that negative isn't a proper doesn't make the whole report a proper presentation of your credit.
This isn't going to happen in our company. Go FICO yourself. I'll tell you that
No,
right now.
no.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
We're on the consumer side at Go FICO
Absolutely.
yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what, yes.
Definitely. Good luck with that.
Yes. yes.
All right, here's another tip for our
Shoot.
homeowners. Those free, Kohl's credit cards, I had some, this derailed their closing.
Yep.
They went out, and the wife got this free Kohl's credit card, and it's nothing disparaging
Blame
about
the
Kohl's.
wife.
And nothing disparaging about the wife.
Not
the
disparaging
wife.
Kohl's, I'm going with the wife.
Wife,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
okay.
she took out this free introductory offer, and then the husband pays the bills, and they
Doesn't know
Doesn't
she
know.
has this.
That bill gets tossed away. For
Right.
that $40 bill,
Cost them.
cost them. They actually had to get out of their loan program.
Yep.
They had to go through a whole new government program because they no longer qualified.
For $40?
For $40.
They could call me, and I would definitely get them.
Kim would get him out of that in about 30 seconds.
Matter of fact,
seconds.
2 pushes us a button.
Matter of
Pull
fact,
off the side of the road.
my daughter-
Get his app.
This is where the van comes
is where the
in.
van
I'll
comes
be
in.
right over.
I'm going to tell you.
That's always worked for
Yeah,
you.
sure. But
You
it was-
have your van. You pull right
Pull
over.
right
Hey,
over.
you want some jokes?
Yeah, sure.
That's always gone over well.
Yes.
So my daughter did that
Okay.
with Macy's.
Yep.
Macy's sent her a bill.
Right.
She never got it. All right?
Right.
She never got it.
Yep.
And so all of a sudden they go to buy a place in Charlestown.
Yeah.
So all
Not
of a
an easy
sudden,
thing
not
to
an
do.
easy to do. So
By
all
the
of
sea.
a sudden she scores down to 680.
Yep.
All right, so it knocks them down a bracket in their percentage. And so she says, Dad, I never saw it. And I says, well, the only thing you can do is call them up every day. She
Yep.
called them every day for 2 weeks, and she finally got a supervisor that said, okay, we're going to take it off.
they took
'Cause
it off?
she's not going away.
Right.
She just
Yeah.
wasn't going to go away.
Yeah.
You
And
know-
they said, okay, we'll take it off.
And that's a good point too. If you're dealing with companies, and I mean this sincerely,
Yeah.
if you call somebody, it depends on who you get.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you could have an issue, and then someone goes, "Sorry, I can't do anything about it." Hang up. Call
Yeah.
somebody else until they go, "Yeah,
Right.
yeah, get right."
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've done that millions of times with
Yeah.
people. Where I go,
Yeah.
"Okay, thank you," and I'll hang up. I'll
Yep.
call the same number. 30 seconds later, and you get someone. They go,
No, you're right.
"Oh yeah, that's easy to
It's
do.
amazing
I
how
can
you
do
get
it."
different
Right.
results from
Yeah.
the same
And
company.
when you call, you
Yeah.
always ask for supervisor
Okay.
because they make notes.
Right.
So by the time my daughter made the call every day,
Right.
the supervisor looked at the notes and said, hey, we're up to 5 pages of notes.
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
Right, right.
We gotta
Let's-
do
let's
something.
get
something.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do something.
I always like when they finish the call with, is there anything else I can help you with?
Oh, when they do that little spiel at the end.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
satisfied your question
No.
today? No, not even close. Then they want you to take a survey. I don't got
Yeah, I'll
that
give you a
kind of
survey.
time.
This is what I learned to do now. When the first layer doesn't work, I'm very polite with them. I say, listen, you obviously can't make this decision.
Right.
Do you have someone above you that can that might? And then they think, oh, now the supervisor's going to get involved. I can't handle this.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got to wrap this thing up. I
do.
think. I
Are you
think
kidding me?
Come on, I'm
it
having
flew
fun.
by.
We're just getting going here.
This flew by. So give us your top tips, because we deal with a lot of people, young people that are about to approach mortgage buying process there. Give a quick couple tips. Pay on time, obviously.
Pay on time. Credit cards are most important. I don't care what anybody, you can say anything. It's the only thing you can control real easy. Don't have big balances on your credit card. Keep the balances low, and don't abuse your credit. You'll be fine.
And get the app that goes. That'll solve every problem. Because once people hear that noise, they'll go, "He's serious
there we
about
go.
his credit."
Yeah, I am.
That is a person serious about their credit.
Got it.
Tony V,
Yes.
Hey.
you're the problem solver. Thank
I
you
am.
for
There you
joining
go.
us
Thank you.
today.
My pleasure.
Kim Carpentier
Thank you.
from Valley Credit Builders. And
got
this
it.
is attorney
We're here.
Rick Carter, absent Kathy Holzhauser, who's down at Key West. Thank you. We'll
Down
see
at
you
Key
next
West.
week. Thanks for joining us.
Sailing away.
No doubt wrecking her credit score.
Give her my card.
She'll need it.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.